Hey.
Hey, Constable.
Sergeant.
I feel good.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
I feel better than James Brown.
Yeah?
Yes.
Perhaps tonight we could,
Perhaps we could. Guidelines in the station.
Ah, yeah, you sergeant, me constable.
You've done this with other sergeants, haven't you?
No.
Inspectors?
Absolutely not.
Superintendents?
No.
Commanders? You've done this with commanders, haven't you? Just get a move on. Make sure you arrive well after me.
Yeah, don't worry. Hey.
G'day. And we also have noise complaints from the residents near the railway hotel.
No, surprise, surprise.
Sorry I'm late.
Just don't make a habit of it. And parents are once again double parking while picking up from the primary school. Any questions? Well, let's go on with it then.
And you come in last night.
So?
So who is she?
Who's who?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be
Go
right
do
there.
some work or something, James. Go on.
Possible offend, 5 Cobden Street.
I'll take that. Lawson?
Just leave us alone! Come on out and face me, you bastard!
All right, take it easy, sir. Come
If
on.
you don't come out, I'm coming. Can you get rid of him,
Yes, where have we
please?
got him?
My mother's sick! You, put the rock down! Put the rock down!
Settle down.
You are scum, Eckhart! That bastard killed my son!
Brad Eckhart killed my son. Not in anger, not in a pub brawl, but in cold blood for profit. And to me, that makes him the worst kind of murderer.
You're right, Mr. Howson. He was tried and convicted for drug trafficking, but he served his sentence.
He was given a slap on the wrist, and my son is still dead.
We're sorry for your loss.
I watched that boy come into this world. I taught him how to kick a football, how to rig a fishing line. I yelled at him when he played his music too loud. And then there's Tom Croydon at my door telling me my boy is dead.
I'm very sorry.
Because Brad Eckhart wanted to make a few lousy bucks selling drugs.
We can't dictate to him where he lives.
So he can just waltz back into Mount Thomas as if nothing happened.
I'm afraid so.
My wife lives in Melbourne now. I've been trying to persuade her to come home. Now, what do I say to her now? Oh, come back to Mount Thomas and run into your son's killer in the supermarket.
Mr. Howson, I understand your grief, and I don't want to charge you, but you can't go around taking the law into your own hands.
He did.
And he was tried and convicted and sent to prison for 5 years.
And I got life.
I'm getting the impression Brad Eckhart is more welcome in this town than I am.
I can understand how you feel, Jerry, but that's certainly not true. And the only reason Brad is back in town is to be with his sick mother.
You're breaking my heart.
PJ, you did the Brad Eckhart arrest after Robin Howson died, didn't you?
Well, you want to lecture on restoring the death penalty, do you?
Not really, but any background information would be helpful.
Brad Eckhart's a drug-trafficking scumbag who cooked up a bad batch of ecstasy which killed Robin Howson.
What about the family?
Mother's a decent woman, father. He's been on the scene for years. I can't give you any psycho babble on him. He just sold drugs to make money.
Do you think Howson could be a danger to him?
Yeah, he's pretty vocal at the sentencing. You know, rotten hell, I'll be waiting for you, that sort of stuff. But usually they don't act on it.
Occasionally they do.
Please here, Mum.
G'day, I'm Sergeant Gallagher. This is Constable Lawson.
Is this about Jerry Howson?
It is, yes.
Well, can something be done about it? A restraining order, anything?
An intervention order is a possibility. We'll need to get a statement from both you and Brad.
My statement is, I did the crime, I've done the time, it's over.
Is there any provocation on your part this morning?
He came to our house, he smashed in the gate, we phoned the police, end of story.
Mrs. Eckhart?
No, he just turned up here. He must have heard that Brad was back home again.
My mother has a right to quiet enjoyment of her property.
Read up on a few law books on the inside, mate.
I might have looked at the old law book. And what they all say is, we have a right not to be harassed. The law's there to protect everyone.
Everyone who abides by the law, mate.
Is that a threat, Constable?
No. No one's threatening you, Brad. Is Jerry Howson capable of real violence?
Anyone is capable of real violence.
Anyone?
Yeah, even Jerry Howson.
You know the story. A bloke blows away a few people. The neighbours line up and say, I thought he was gentle as a giant. Wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, you can't blame Jerry Howson.
What if he kills Eckhart?
Save on court costs.
Jack,
Joke.
pleased to hear it.
If we can get Nancy to take out an intervention order, then we can seize any guns that Howson might have.
I reckon Nancy would be very happy to do that.
Good, then perhaps we could get on with it.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the Howson file.
You okay?
Yeah.
You know, can't rattle you.
He didn't rattle me.
I'm serious, Jack. He's the victim here.
That man's no victim, Tess.
Look, I understand your attitude towards drug dealers.
They're scum.
That is your personal opinion. Understandable, but personal. Professionally, you need to take a more measured stance.
And if I don't?
You tell me, Jack.
Okay, you're right. It shouldn't affect my work. It doesn't.
Oh, Anne Courtney, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
I need to speak to someone.
Yeah, sure. Come through. I think I met you last time I went to the high school. You're in the history department, yeah?
Yeah, good memory.
Yeah, one of my favourite subjects, history.
Footy was mine.
There are drugs circulating at the high school.
What, more than usual?
I'm sorry?
Well, we don't live in a perfect world. I wouldn't think there'd be a high school in the country that didn't have some drugs circulating.
Surely that doesn't mean we should just give up.
No, it doesn't.
I know there's always marijuana.
What's happening now?
I think someone started dealing ecstasy.
Surprise, surprise.
Who told you?
No one told me, but I've observed some of the kids in my class, and they couldn't possibly be that excited by Burke and Wills.
Right, I understand your concern, but that's not really enough information for us to follow up on.
What if I thought I knew who was dealing?
Do you?
Look, this is very uncomfortable for me. My daughter Deb's a student at the high school.
We do understand your situation.
The person I suspect is one of her friends. Jodie Adams.
We believe that ecstasy is being sold at this school, and we're just making some general inquiries. We were wondering if you could help us with any information.
Jodie Adams, they've caught up with you at last.
Not funny, Deb. These guys seem to think I know something about drugs being sold around here.
Yeah? Well, that would make you pretty cool, wouldn't it?
What's your name?
Tegan Russell.
And yours?
Deborah Courtney.
Oh, you're Anne's daughter.
So?
Listen, drugs aren't a joke, right? And we will be pursuing this matter.
Oh, we're scared now.
Can I help you? Nigel Kellett, Science Master. I assume you've spoken to the principal?
Yes, we have. We're pursuing a report of possible drug trafficking at the school.
Okay, but that would be news to me.
Us too, sir.
Well, perhaps you care to join us while we have a chat with the girls.
I will, thank you, Sergeant.
Girls, drugs are a very serious issue. 5 years ago, a student at this school died in a drug-related incident.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's always some drugs going around. But I wouldn't know anything about them because I don't take them.
All I'm saying is Brad Eckhart's got form for cooking ecstasy and selling it to high school students. He gets out of jail, and within a week, we've got reports of Eckies being sold at the school.
Yeah, but is he really that stupid?
They're all that stupid. We get a search warrant, kick in his door, and search the place.
Brad is a possibility, but he's only a possibility at this stage.
All right, well, I'll have a word to some of my scruffy mates, see what we can come up with.
Well, a man's known by the company he keeps, PJ. Jack's right. I think we should follow up on Brad.
Do we have enough for a warrant?
Well, not at this stage. And there's the problem with Jerry Howson. I don't think that's going to go away quietly.
Pity we can't just run Brad out of town. Thank you, that's very helpful, Wyatt Earp.
Well, maybe he is just here to help his mum.
Oh, they're always good to their mothers, aren't they?
Yeah, well, then they can both leave.
Nancy is sick. The best place for her at the moment is the house that she's been living in for most of her life.
No, look, I feel sorry for Nancy, but look, I took Jerry in to identify his son's body. I mean, there's a lot of people in town with long memories. No, Brad's better out of here.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to be out of here. I can hear the call of the Imperial already. You're coming?
okay. No heroics, Lawson.
Tish. I was just closing up. There was a man with a knife and he pushed his way in, tied me up and robbed the shop.
Did you recognise him?
He had a balaclava on, gloves.
What about the voice?
He only said a few words.
What did he take?
Cold and flu preparations. Anything with pseudoephedrine.
He's got a bad head cold. Someone's cooking up speed.
Balaclava and a knife. Everyone does that.
Which planet is that, Brad? Oh, I don't do that. Constable Lawson here doesn't. But you do.
No, I don't. I got no prize for robbery.
Sit down. See, my friend, this is just a friendly chat. Now, where were you tonight about 7 p.m?
I was driving.
With anyone?
By myself.
How did I know he was going to say that, Constable Lawson?
I don't know. Maybe the voices in your head told you so, mate.
The thief stole pseudoephedrine. Any idea why?
This is crap. I'll go down once for drug offences, and now you're going to drag me in here every time someone steals a packet of sinus tablets. I don't have to put up with this from you clowns. If you aren't going to charge me with anything, I'm out of here.
Oh, we can get a warrant, mate.
Yeah, go right ahead, mate.
It'd be easier if you gave us permission to search.
Not my house, it's my mother's. So you get your warrant the hard way by getting some magistrate out of bed.
Then you won't mind waiting here while we wake up her worship.
Mom, it's just me. I've got the police with me.
Brad?
Senior Detective Hasham, Constable Lawson, Mrs. Eckhart. We have a warrant to search. Lounge room and bedrooms all clear.
PJ.
It's hardly something I took from a chemist now, is it?
That doesn't smell like oregano.
Personal use only?
Brad, I think we should tell
No,
them
Mum,
the
I
reason.
told you I wasn't smoking anymore.
Brad, now listen
I'm
to me.
sorry, okay? I'll go and get it sorted out with these guys.
I'd be happy to sort it out with you, mate. Well, Brad's sticking to his story. The dope's for personal use, and I've never done Hatish's.
No sign of stuff from Hatish's shop in the house.
Well, it was a long shot anyway. I mean, he's not going to cook amphetamines in his own mother's kitchen.
We got him on the dope, and that's got to be enough to breach his parole conditions.
So how can we help you, Mrs. Eckhart?
I don't want Brad to take the blame for me.
Take the blame about...
The dope you found last night is mine.
Oh, what do you take us for, Mrs. Eckhart?
I have glaucoma, and the marijuana helps. I've been taking it for a couple of years now.
So you're smoking this dope for medicinal purposes?
And I'm not smoking it, Detective.
Oh. So why didn't Brad tell us this last night?
He was doing the best he thought for me.
Maybe you're doing the right thing for him by coming in here and telling us this little story, which turns out to be the right thing for you because he sticks around to look after you.
It's mine.
You're aware that what you're admitting is...
Yes. And that's why I'm here, to give a confession.
I think you're here to protect your son.
5 years ago, Robin Howson died, and it was tragic. But Brad has been punished according to the law, and he has promised me that he has turned his life around. Now, you may not believe this, but I do.
Hey, Chris, lunch is ready?
You've been demoted. Things come to a pretty pass when the sergeant's got to collect the lunches.
No, just on reconnaissance.
Just keeping an eye on me.
Yeah, needs to. Be back in a tick.
Chris.
Be with you in a minute, Jerry.
G'day.
I heard what happened to Hatish.
Very nasty.
Certainly was.
You can arrest the mongrel who did it.
Why? Have you got some information you'd like to give us?
Oh, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Atish said that the stuff stolen was the same stuff used to make ecstasy. Eckhart's back in town.
Join the dots, eh?
Unfortunately, life isn't as simple as that. We need proof, not just suspicion.
So, what is this? You know I can't have any party political stuff. My patrons are stuck right down the middle. Jerry, you know I can't have this.
It's true,
It's
isn't
the
it?
house and you're already in trouble enough.
I've known Nancy Eckhart all my life, for as long as I've known you. She's a nice person.
Her son isn't.
Jerry, it's been 5 years. Maybe he's changed.
He killed my son.
God, this is insane. Did you see any of these anywhere else?
Well, not so far. We're keeping an eye out.
Good. I've got to contain this. Protect Jerry from himself, if nothing else.
So what's your take on Hatish's burg?
Well, the best case scenario for us is it's out of towners and will turn up somewhere else.
Worst case scenario?
It's a local.
Named Brad Eckhart.
We don't know that for sure, and if we concentrate on him and we're wrong, we lose time.
Eckhart's got form.
But he's one possibility. He's only one suspect.
With a lot going for him.
How long would a batch take to cook?
Somewhere between 4 and 40 hours, and we're not talking about vintage wine.
Excuse me. These have been circulating at the high school. The kids have really been thrown.
Are there any left of the school?
I collected as many of them as I could. They're in my car. But Jerry Howson had been at it for quite a while before I could stop him.
Well, thanks for bringing these in.
Is there any truth to what he's been saying? Is Brad Eckhart selling drugs again?
As far as we know, there's no connection between him and any drugs that might be circulating at the moment.
Well, Jerry thinks there is.
Yes, I know he does.
Well, he told me you people think there's one too.
That is pure speculation at this stage.
He said there'd been a break-in at the chemist's. When he asked you people whether Eckhart was responsible, he was told to join the dots. I'll leave it with you.
Thank you. It's not our job to incite people. I will not tolerate any member of this station putting their personal feelings ahead of their professional manner. Presumption of innocence still remains.
And what if we think that person's a threat to the community?
Then we treat it as we would any normal case, by the rules. We're not judge and jury.
Nancy Eckhart's in casualty. She was assaulted outside the supermarket.
Join those dots.
I was standing outside the supermarket waiting for Brad to come past with the car, and this man came out with a Dodger in his hand. He just shoved it in my face.
Did you recognise this man?
Oh, he was sort of familiar. I'd probably seen him around. I couldn't tell you his name or anything.
Okay. Did you see what was on this Dodger?
No, he just pushed it in my shopping bag. He was talking about Brad, how we weren't wanted here. Here it is. I don't want to leave my home. Not now, not with these eyes.
Nancy, the injuries to your face, how did that happen?
Well, other people came and then someone spat on me. I tried to get away and I fell over. These are people I've known most of their lives, some of them.
Your mother's been hurt.
Yeah, I know. I'm here to collect her.
She got spat on in the street.
So why don't you people do something to
She's
stop
being hassled because she's got a son like you.
It stops now. Nancy Eckhart has never harmed you.
She gave birth to Brad.
Oh, for God's sake, Jerry.
Look, if there's something you want to charge me with...
I don't want to charge you. Look, I understand where you're coming from, but it's got to stop.
What about my right to freedom of speech?
Freedom of speech? What about Nancy's right to go shopping without being attacked by some idiot worked up by your flyer?
Well, that's not in my hands.
You continue to harass Eckhart or his mother, and you'll feel my hands on you so hard it'll be you wanting to leave Mount Thomas, believe me. Lawson? I've just told House, and now I'm telling you I will not have a vendetta in this town. Eckhart has paid the penalty that was asked of him. Now, whether we agree with it or not is irrelevant. He's free to live wherever he likes. Now, anybody who harasses him or his mother is to be charged, understood?
Yes, boss.
You're lucky it was your sergeant that was with you and not me when you started shooting your mouth off about Eckhart. Oh, don't be a fool, Lawson. You think she doesn't talk to me?
Understand, boss.
Just a couple of questions for you, Mr. Lawson. This won't take a moment. I believe you're seeing someone by the name of...
Last night there was Atish, Sergeant Gallagher, Detective Hasham, a magistrate who didn't want to get woken up too early, Brad Eckhart. Could have been any one of them.
What about your whereabouts the night before last?
It's too long ago. I can't remember.
Can't remember. Didn't want anyone to say that about me.
What are they doing out of school?
Swapping study tips.
Hey, school's out a bit early, isn't it?
It's a free afternoon. Teachers are being lectured about something. Half your luck.
Yeah, I wish our bosses got lectured like that.
Don't you have enough to do?
No. Do you mind emptying your pockets?
Why?
Joe, do the honours, please, on both of them.
I'm going to be sick.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Huh?
Now, these bag will be fingerprinted and the pills be analysed to see if this is so-called ecstasy, and if it is...
What do you
we'll
mean,
charge.
so-called ecstasy?
Well, you see, Deb, the real stuff hasn't been on the streets for years. This is probably just a cocktail of heroin, cocaine, caffeine, you name it.
Darling.
You drink?
I do, but I know what's in it.
I can't tell you anything.
Did your friend Jodie Adams supply you?
No.
Are you about to supply her?
Why are you talking about supply? Are you saying she's a dealer? I mean,
Mrs. Courtney, what we found isn't a trafficable amount.
oh dear, but just tell them everything. You know, who supplied it, who else has it, everything.
I'm not the only one doing it.
But you're the one who got caught.
Look, Deb, we just need names. All we do, we just want names just so we can get this out of circulation.
But we're all fine. They don't hurt anyone.
Doesn't hurt anyone. You know Hatish? The chemist? Well, someone threatened him with a knife, tied him up and gagged him.
That had nothing to do with me.
When you buy this stuff, you're supporting people that do that. So we really need your help.
I can't help you.
Well, your mum's not at home either. Mate, we need someone present while we interview you. Any thoughts?
Huh? What about social worker?
No. A minister or a priest?
Oh,
Okay.
Jodie, either you choose someone or we do. It's up to you.
Anyone. Anyone at all.
Mr. Kellett, I suppose. Well, he's my form teacher.
Look, I just heard Jodie deny having any drugs, so how can someone be supplying her?
You're here as an observer, Mr. Keller. I would appreciate it if you kept quiet.
Is Deb supplying you?
No.
Are you supplying her?
No.
So where'd they come from?
I don't know.
Just sign there.
You're taking this very seriously, Detective.
Well, it is serious.
Well, if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thanks, Mr. Kellett. So, Anne Courtney was right. There is ecstasy floating around the high school.
They won't reveal their source?
Nope, there's no prints on the bag and no link so far to Hatish's berg.
We know who the source is.
Jacko, we don't know for sure. There's no link to Eckhart or these girls.
They're high school kids, just like before.
That's not evidence.
Oh, so what are we supposed to do? Just keep pussyfooting around while he keeps cooking up ecstasy?
So what do you want to do?
Bring him in, lean on him.
Eckhart?
Yeah, he's our man. I know he is.
I don't want his mother upset by any fishing expeditions. You want to talk to Eckhart, get some more evidence.
Hey! Some Thai fish cakes, deep-fried whole fish, red fish curry, green fish curry.
Right. Is this your subtle comment on fishing expeditions, is it?
Well, actually, it's a red beef curry and a green chicken curry.
Thank goodness. I thought I was going to sprout fins.
It could be fun.
You better watch yourself around this whole Eckhart business.
I think I'm fine.
No, seriously, Jake, you're so fixated on one theory, it's clouding your judgment.
Hey, you didn't come here to talk shop, Sergeant Garber.
Very well, Constable. May I ask why you came then?
To eat. Good food would be a good place to start.
When I left, the others were trying to get you out for a beer. What happened there?
Well, I told them that I'd joined Alcoholics Anonymous. Cheers.
Cheers. Really, where are you meant to be? So I'll know how to lie for you.
I was pretty mysterious on that whole thing. I left them guessing.
Great, so they think there's a mystery woman on the scene, won't they? Why won't you name her?
Because I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, because she's married. Or is it because she's underage?
Oh, there you go.
Is it that sexy new Uniting Church minister from St. David's?
Well, am I seeing a bloke now?
No, it's a woman, actually. Just your type.
You're my type. This Uniting Church minister, is she really sexy?
You can't have her.
Why don't you go through there and put the kettle on? It's just down here, and I'll get onto my people and get them out looking for it. Oh, Sergeant, you're here.
Boss, you're early.
Deb Courtney's gone missing.
Right. What's happened?
When I got home, I gave her a real talking to. I lost my temper, and it got out of hand, and, well, she stormed off into her bedroom.
But this morning her bed hadn't been slept in.
And the last thing she said was, "I'll never have a life with you around."
She couldn't have just made her bed and gone out?
She hasn't made her bed since she was 13.
Look, why don't you and Lawson get over to the high school, double-check that she hasn't stayed with any of her friends?
I've rung them already.
And people do lie.
We had a bit of a party last night. Just a few of us, you know.
Where was this?
Hetherington Park, where this guy saw us yesterday. Well, she said she'd had a pretty full-on row with her mum. She's pretty upset about it.
Did anything happen at the party?
No, just a few drinks and a bit of a chat. Well, by the time I was ready to leave, a few others had already gone, so I just figured she'd gone home with them.
OK, Jodie, you better show us where this party was.
So you sure you didn't see her leave last night?
No.
Well, she's a maid, isn't she? Weren't you wondering where she was?
Well, if I thought she was missing, I would have looked for her. Well, she was upset about her mum. I just thought she'd gone home.
OK. I'll look down here. Deborah! Deb!
What you got there, mate? No, in your other hand. Come on, I saw you pick it up. Right, yeah.
Sarge, over here.
What?
Deb. We need an ambulance.
Yep.
Deb, can you hear me?
Thomas
Deb.
250 to VKC.
Don't die, dear. Please don't die, darling. Don't die, dear.
Anne.
They're saying she's massively dehydrated. In a coma. And I yelled at her.
You were trying to help her. You were trying to put her on the right track.
Last time we spoke, we were yelling and angry.
You love her. That's what counts.
Oh, God.
I'm going to sort this out for you. I promise. Jodie. Your friend, Deb. She could die.
She can't. Deb can't die.
People do die from drugs. Wake up to yourself.
Eckies are okay.
Oh, really? Do you know what's in them? Could be rat poison with a pretty little pink coating. You don't know. You can't know for sure.
Well, you've never been sick before.
Well, she's sick now. She's in the hospital with tubes coming out of her body. She needs a machine to stay alive. Now, tell me, who else have you been selling them to?
I'm not selling.
Wake up to yourself and tell me the truth.
What the hell is going on here?
He's saying Deb might die.
Deb Courtney's in a coma. She's taken some stuff which could still be floating around at this school. You happy to leave it at that?
Of course I'm not, but intimidating her like this is not going to get you anywhere.
You don't like the way I do things? Fine, we'll take her down to the station. We can talk about it there.
Good. I want to speak to your superiors.
Deb Courtney didn't get struck by lightning. She's in hospital in a coma because of the crap that was in these drugs. Now, you're her friend. Tell us where she got them from.
I said I don't know.
OK, think back
Thought
over
you girls
last
told
night.
each other everything.
Well, she knew I disapproved and she knew I didn't want to talk about it.
Which of her friends would know?
Right, it's a new supplier, isn't it? Because there's a new batch in town. You just give us a name. You tell us his name and we'll stop him.
Can't you see that you're upsetting
somebody
her?
who's just come back to town, isn't it, Jodie? It's somebody who's done this before. It's somebody who's cooked a bad batch before.
Wait outside, Constable. Interview suspended at 12:50 p.m. Jodie, will just be a minute.
She knows. She knows it's Brad Eckhart.
She just heard that through the door. I will have your guts pulled gathers, Lawson. When we get back in there, you'll shut your mouth and allow me to run this interview and run it the way I see fit.
She needs pushing.
If you lead her into naming Eckhart, her evidence will be worthless in court. You know that. Even if he is guilty, he will walk and it's going to feel like your fault. All right. You ready?
Yeah, pass it on. Who's Dr. Mel?
Deborah Courtney's just died.
Happy now? This is where softly, softly gets you. Dead kids. Deb Courtney is dead. Do you understand me, Jodie? She's dead!
That's enough!
Have you got any more
This
friends
interview is
to do with
over.
you?
This
I'm not
interview is
cooperating
over.
with us.
Jodie, can we call your mother? Does she
Who
at
gave
work?
you the drugs?
Mr. Kelly, you're free to
Jodie,
go.
I'm not going to leave her here with you. She's in no condition to be interviewed.
The tablets were safe.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Mr. Keller, perhaps if
Tell
you
me.
give her a lift home, we can talk to
Go
Jodie
on,
later.
go
We
on,
can
let's
talk to
go.
her later.
You can't let him take
Your
her out of
constable
here.
is totally out of control. He should be on a leash.
Friend.
I am going to make a formal complaint about Constable Lawson.
You can't let him take her out of here.
What choice do we have? Well done, Jack.
I'm going to the hospital.
Lawson, stay here. That's an order.
Hectoring, bullying, inappropriate behaviour in an inappropriate interview by a sole male of a female minor, intimidation. Perhaps you'd like to add failure to obey an instruction to that list. And when you've done that, perhaps you could tell me why you've let things get to this point.
I accept full responsibility for his behaviour.
I'm not interested in nobility here. I want to know why things have gotten so out of hand. I need to know that my sergeant can handle whatever's thrown at her.
Leave it with me, boss.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Jack, you need at the station. Now.
I let you down. Sorry.
They shouldn't die before you. It isn't right.
No, it isn't. You shouldn't have to bury your own child.
Eckhart will pay.
You just lock him away. Please.
Jack. Today you disobeyed a direct instruction. You did that in front of the boss. What do you think that does to my authority in this
I had
station?
to go
Like,
to
it
the
totally
hospital.
undermines it.
I've been dealing with Anne Courtney. I
Jack,
wanted to make sure
you're
she
not
was okay.
listening to me.
Surely you must understand this.
I don't understand that at all. Did you think it was kosher to disobey an instruction from me because you'd slept with me?
No, it isn't like that.
That's exactly what it feels like. Hey, I've screwed this sergeant. Now I can do whatever I like.
Oh, so what are you saying now? We can't be lovers anymore?
Well, after the last couple of days, I don't know what we can be.
So that's it. That's it for us.
I don't know. I really don't know. Right, Joe, I'm still waiting on that report on the Ferguson matter. And Ben, there's these stats. There's a few errors. You better go over it.
You won't get him on that. That was his ute just driving off.
Right. Thanks.
Forensics says the stuff that killed Deb Courtney contained a high proportion of pseudoephedrine, such as you might get from a pharmacy.
Thank you. Through here, please. I found Jodie Adams retrieving this from Tegan Russell here. Perhaps you'd like to sit in on the interview.
Perhaps a short chat first, Constable.
Caught him in the act, boss.
Sit down, Lawson.
It's possess and probably traffic of a drug of dependence.
Well, their fingerprints better be on that bag, otherwise it's going to be your word against theirs.
There'll be fingerprints.
Of course, if you'd had someone with you at the time, you'd have backup for your version of events.
Sergeant? Would you have let me go?
There is good reason for working in teams, Lawson.
I just thought a little bit of surveillance while they were worried might pay off, and it did.
Sergeant, how would you like to deal with those two young women out there?
They should be interviewed, boss. We'll need to get someone to sit in with them.
Would I be permitted to make a suggestion?
Yes, Constable?
Right, Tegan's the one most scared. She'll say anything. She was the one Jodie was getting the drugs back off. We should start with her.
Okay, I'll get on the phone.
I've already called a social worker.
All right, Lawson, but just remember, if you can't operate as a part of a team, you'll be transferred. It's as simple as that.
Jodie's okay. She's so upset about Deb. When Constable Lawson grabbed us, she was trying to get them all back.
Get all what back, Tegan?
All the eckies. She never would have sold them if she knew this was going to happen, though. Especially as we'll take them.
So Jodie sold you the ecstasy. For the tape, please?
Yes, she did. But people wanted them. I mean, she wasn't forcing them on anyone.
I understand.
So, where did she get them from?
I don't know.
You sure about that?
Well, it's not the kind of thing you advertise.
We've been told you're selling ecstasy at the school. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, well, I was.
We need to know how many tablets are still out there.
I got them all back. I flushed some Tegan's for the last.
Right, well, that's going to go in your favour.
And what do I do now?
Well, you've made things pretty difficult for yourself, but if you keep helping us, we'll look after you.
Deb was my friend. Look, I'll organise counselling. I'll get you some time off school.
We need to know who's been supplying you with the ecstasy. They have to be stopped.
He just got out of jail. His name's Bradley Eckhart.
Hello. Can I speak with Jack Lawson, please?
He's just
Thanks, Joe. How are you?
They want to cut her up. Deb, for an autopsy. Can't they leave her alone now?
Look, you can object, but it's the coroner's decision. We can do everything in our power to dissuade them. But the main thing is that we get the guy that did this to her.
Brad Eckhart.
I'm not allowed to say. But Senior Detective Hashem and I are about to go out and get him.
No, Constable. Senior Detective Hashem and I are going to handle that one.
I don't know how often I have to say this. I don't cook and I don't sell. I learnt my lesson, okay?
Well, we have information that you've been supplying ecstasy to school kids.
Well, whoever told you that's a liar. They're in it with the others, all the people hassling me, you know, wanting me out of town.
Well, you're not going to get any sympathy from me, mate. I mean, I saw what you did to Robin Howson. I mean, I blame you entirely for that.
That was 5 years ago, for Christ's sake.
So what's going to stop you from starting up again? I mean, it's a good career, isn't it? It's a living.
Someone is fitting me up, okay? The only reason I come back here was to look after my mother.
And what a good lad you are. A good kid. Like Deb Courtney was. Like Robin Howson was.
Oh, screw you! I never meant to kill Howson, and I never sold whatever it was that killed that girl. It's a marketplace, okay? You know, people want stuff, other people make it and sell it to them.
Yeah, you can justify selling anything that way.
Well, everybody does it, don't they? You know, no one goes after car manufacturers because people kill themselves in cars. Brewers don't get persecuted because punters drink themselves to death, so why pick on me?
You're quite the free market expert.
I didn't do this one, all right?
Bradley, don't leave the country. We'll need to talk to you again.
You gonna give me a lift home or something?
No. You letting him go?
Are you disappointed, are you, mate?
Well, you killed a kid 5 years ago, now you've killed another one. How many more is a fair thing? 1? 5? 10? How many more?
Hey, listen, big boy. Just because you can't get it into your thick skull I'm not cooking and dealing anymore, it doesn't mean I have to put up with your abuse. I have rights.
Your only right is to go back to prison with all the other animals where you belong.
Jack.
I'll be watching you, Eckhart, and I'll put you away. You understand?
Come on.
I'll put you away.
You see that? Everyone witness that?
You're free to leave now, Mr. Eckhart.
You're not going to do anything? You're all in this together, aren't you?
Jack, end of shift. And you're to stay out of this whole E-card business unless otherwise instructed by me or Senior Sergeant Croydon.
Ah, time off for good behaviour, huh?
Yeah. Come on, OJ, please, Chris.
Saving yourself for someone.
Maybe. Can't be certain of anything, though, can you, Chris?
No, but she's a lucky girl, whoever she is. You're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah, I've come to see Constable Lawson.
Have you now? Okay, then. Cradle's sunshine.
It's not like that. I thought you were supposed to be home by now. Isn't Mr. Kellett giving you a lift? What do you want, Jodie?
I know where Brad Eckhart's lab is.
What the hell do we do with Lawson?
I don't know. I'm hoping that once we've got this Eckhart thing wrapped, he'll come round.
He's put himself in real jeopardy with this. Is he talking to you about it at all?
No, we're not talking too well at the moment.
His conduct's bad enough. I don't want him taking you down too.
I wouldn't let that happen, boss.
Keep me posted.
See you tomorrow. Mount Thomas Police, Sergeant Gallagher speaking. Okay, Jack, just hold on. I'll be right there. What happened?